Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had as easeful as possible of a holiday season. I know for some people it can be wild and challenging, and for others it's fun and easeful. So we're all here. We're back. We survived it. um, yeah, so just welcome. I'm glad you're here and glad you're back for the spring series. Let's just start with a little bit of movement. Um, if you're able to stand up, you can do that. And if you want to stay seated, that's fine too. We're just going to start with a little bit of swaying. So if you're seated, just going to do a little bit of swaying and just going to do a little bit of slowing down and getting into the body through movement. So as you're going back and forth, whether you're standing or seated, just notice this feeling. And you may want to put your arms around your body. You can start to maybe squeeze your arms a little bit. Can provide just a sense of like safety and containment, a little bit of comfort. And this can be great when we're struggling, when we're having a hard time. But the beauty of these body practices is that if we're regulated, if you're doing fine today, practicing it in a state when you're calm is really helpful too, because it can start to rewire what we do when we're stressed. I don't know about you, but I'm noticing a pattern in me when I'm stressed that I have this tendency for some reason to push through and start to, um, in difficult times, like just keep trying to push and do the hard thing. I have these things that I have to do to maintain my board certification, and I don't want to do them. And you know, in a stressful time, I'm noticing this pushing. And I don't know if any of you can relate to that. And while we're talking, just see if there's places on your body that it just feels good to kind of touch, to maybe it's light touch, maybe it's a squeeze. But we so rarely, I'm noticing I so rarely touch my own body. And many of us, if you're not in a relationship, if you're single, um, we don't get a lot of touch. And sometimes even when we are in a romantic relationship, sometimes there's not a lot of touch. So just see how it feels to use your hands on your own body to kind of, maybe it's pressure, or maybe it's like light touch. Maybe it's kind of a holding of your face. But what I was saying is that I'm noticing this pushing quality in me that I think in our culture is really, really common, to just like push past what the body is saying, to trying to find the right word. It's override. That's the word that I'm looking for. Check in with yourself and see if that applies to you. If if you have this sensation of overriding what your body or your being is wanting and needing in any given moment. When I look back on my 20s and 30s, I think about how much I overrode exhaustion or a feeling of I don't want to do this. And it was really a habit. And I thought it was the right thing to do. And it's really encouraged in our culture, I think, to override and keep pushing and work harder and produce more. And what I'm realizing for myself is that actually slowing down and starting to really listen moment to moment, like what is this being? What is this body? What does my heart really need or want in any given moment? And I'm not always successful at remembering to do that. And I am still in this phase where I'm pushing sometimes, or my mind is ruminating about what I should be doing. And what I'm noticing is that the more I can just pause and tune in and listen. So that's what our meditation will be about today. And I just wanted to do that teaching ahead of time. So if you're somebody who that that fits with what you're experiencing in life, it's overriding, pushing, then maybe this will be helpful. So finding a comfortable position, whether you're laying down or whether you're seated, and seated in a chair or on the floor, it doesn't matter. Or lying down, if your body is in pain and lying down feels the best right now, lie down. Find the most comfortable place of ease for the body. And begin by just taking in your surroundings, looking around, taking in the familiarity. And then noticing whether does it feel better to have your eyes open or closed? Either one is fine. If your eyes are open, I would encourage you to just have like a soft downward gaze. Um, or if you're lying down, just a soft gaze. I would actually encourage you not to look at the screen, unless, there is an exception to that. If you're in a space of feeling really isolated or lonely and looking at the screen and feeling the connection between you and I is comforting, then do that. So ultimately, and I've said this many times before, but maybe you're new to these meditations, I'll say a bunch of things, but ultimately, you are your own best inner teacher, and trusting your own intuition about everything is what I would most encourage. So you may feel that your eyes open feels best today, feels safest. You may find that your eyes closed feels best. You may be a person that right now sitting meditation and not moving feels very agitating to the mind. So maybe while you're listening to this, maybe you're out for a walk. We can meditate doing anything. Meditating is simply about being in the present moment on purpose and noticing the judgmental mind, releasing those judgments as best we can, and intending on bringing a sense of compassion and kindness to ourselves. And that is a lifelong practice. So don't be hard on yourself about not having enough self-compassion. That is something that we develop over time. And I want you to be really comfortable. I want you to be at ease. I want you to be warm and cozy. So as you continue noticing your body, noticing your breath, see if you can notice the contact points between your body and the ground. Notice the pressure and the surface area that's contacting the ground. I'm going to model self-care and get a blanket for myself because I'm cold, but you continue what you're doing. Continuing to notice those contact points. Noticing pressure, noticing connection with the ground. And then bringing awareness sort of wide, it's almost like you're widening your awareness, imagining that consciousness or awareness, or you could call it the witness, is widening to include not just the contact points with the ground, but slowly your bubble of awareness is expanding to include your entire body. You're just widening this bubble of awareness. And you're noticing sensation. Sensations in the body come and go. You might notice one sensation for a period of time, and you might stay with it. It might be pulling your awareness most strongly, and then another sensation in the body arises, and you allow your awareness to move there. So we're developing this sense of witness consciousness, of being aware of the body. You might notice how the body moves with your breathing. You might notice that the shoulders rise with the in-breath There's kind of this upward movement or expansion movement with the in-breath of the entire body. And then there's this softening quality with the out-breath. So see if you can just tune into the expansion feeling of the body on the in-breath, and then the softening quality of the body with the out-breath. And you don't have to do anything. You're just witnessing, you're just watching, observing what the body is doing very naturally. As you're noticing the expansion and softening, if you're sitting, see how it feels to just allow the spine to almost, it's not a rigidity, it's like imagining that there's this string at your crown, just kind of pulling your spine more upright. It's not pushing or extending, it's just like this easeful lengthening of the spine and sort of like a gentle a gentle tucking of the chin. So there's this elongation of the spine. See how that feels as you notice expansion and softening with the breath. And when thoughts come, no biggie. That's what the mind does. So we're using the body right now as the object of awareness. And we're not pushing anything away. So emotions can be here, thoughts can be here, and they're floating through. They might grab our attention and we might follow them for a while, and that's not a problem. But when you notice that your awareness, your consciousness has been pulled by something other than the body, see if you can bring it back. And this isn't easy because we really live in a very above the neck culture. We very much do not pay a lot of attention generally to our bodies, which is one reason that I'm focusing on this today, because the body has so much valuable information. And I know for most of my life, was very disconnected from my body. And then you're disconnected from your own intuition. You're disconnected from your own wisdom. So I was about to use the word working, and I don't like that. It's more like a tuning in, learning how to tune in to your own body will provide you over time with a lot more sound wisdom, because the mind is so fickle. It changes, it shifts, it's protective, it's about the personality and the ego. Whereas the body has this steadfast wisdom that is connected to things that our mind just can't access. So that's why we're using the body as the object today. So coming back again and again to just the sense of the body. And some of you may want to pay attention to the expansion and the softening. That might pull you in. That may be something your witness or your observer, your consciousness wants to rest with. Some people I've noticed that I work with are very triggered by anything associated with noticing the breath, and they just don't like it. And it results in aversion, and it just doesn't work. So what I love to do is to try to help you find the object of awareness that your particular witnesser loves to be with. So for some of you, that's the breath, and it may just be the sensation of breath going in and out. For some of you, that may be the expansion of the body and the softening. And for some, if you're walking, it might be the feeling of your feet connecting with the ground, the bottoms of your feet. So there's no right or wrong here, but we're picking an object of awareness. And then when we notice that our mind or our consciousness has wandered away from the object of awareness, we can be very gentle with ourselves. Notice if you're harsh. It's not helpful usually. It's not helpful, I don't think, ever, but to see if you can soften your approach and just gently come back to whatever you were paying attention to. So I'm going to say the expansion and softening of the body, but you know you're going to find the object of awareness that really works for you. And maybe it's just feeling your hands or your feet, or the breath at the tip of the nose as it goes in and out. So just spend some moments. I know I'm giving you a lot of options, and that may be, if you're new to this, it may be kind of disorienting and confusing. But just take some moments and see where you can rest your consciousness most easily. See where you can see what you're most drawn to. See what's easiest. Is it paying attention to your hands? Is it paying attention to your breath? Is it paying attention to the entire body as it expands and softens? I'm going to be quiet for a while now while you find your preferred thing, your preferred object to witness, to be aware of, to focus on. Notice if your jaw and your mouth are held tightly. And see if as you breathe out, you can soften the jaw and the mouth. Allow the jaw to drop, allow the face to soften. Noticing where your awareness is now. Gently coming back to your object of awareness, whatever that is. You may come back again and again and again, and know that that's really, really normal. There's this sense that if my mind wanders, I'm not doing it right, I can't meditate. Please know that that's just the way it is. And some days the mind may be very, very busy. Some days there may be strong emotions. If it's that kind of day for you, comfort yourself. Put your hands on your body, hug your body, and do the meditation like that. Or move, rock. Do what you need to do to comfort this being of yourself. Learning how to be with difficult emotions can be very, very challenging. And we need to use all the comforting tools that we have when we're going through difficulties. And using the body to comfort oneself, putting your arms around yourself, squeezing your arms, touching your face, moving. Listen to the body. It will tell you what it wants. And while you're doing that, you can keep coming back. You can keep coming back to the object of awareness as you do what you need to do to comfort yourself. You don't have to meditate in this still stoic position. There's nothing, you're not going to get extra points for that. The point is to be with who you are in this moment as best you can, meeting yourself with as much love and as much kindness as possible. And so if that means that you're rocking, or you're holding yourself, or you're wrapped up in a blanket, or you're walking, it's all good. That is the skillful way, in my mind, in my opinion, of being with oneself. It's not stoically forcing oneself to do the exact thing. So be flexible in your mind. Allow yourself to do what you need to do. And then keep coming back to the object of awareness. In addition to moving or touching the body, another helpful technique if you're struggling today, or if you want to just practice it, is to breathe in through the nose and then have a nice, long, slow exhale. So elongating the exhale is going to result in a calming effect for the body. And we can do counting, but we can also just make it very simple. I think simplicity is nice. So breathing in through the nose. And then you can breathe out through the mouth, nice and slow. Notice as you breathe out that the shoulders go down, shoulders soften. And when you're breathing out, see if you're tightening up your mouth or your face. And if you are, see if you can loosen your face. So you're breathing in through the nose, and out nice and slow through the mouth. See if you can breathe in deep into your belly so that your belly expands with the in-breath. Nice and slow on the out-breath. See if you can hear your own breath. Kind of sounds like the ocean. I find it soothing. Maybe you will too. If you're having an anxious day, you could spend the rest of the meditation breathing in this way. Feel free to go back to your normal breath if you want. And gently noticing where is the witness, where is your consciousness, bringing the spotlight back to your object of awareness, whatever it is, your feet, your hands, your body, your breath. Just consistently noticing where your awareness is, and with as much kindness, gentleness as you can, just continuously coming back again and again and again. In a moment, I'll invite you to complete our meditation today with 3 ohms. And if this is new for you, I'd encourage you to do it, even if it feels a little edgy to make sound. But making sound and certain tones, certain, not tones, but certain syllables in Sanskrit can vibrate the body in a certain way that can really help connect us to the body, help connect us to this present moment. And Om is one of them. And so what I would encourage you to do if you are able to make sound in the space that you're in is to feel the vibration of the Om in your body and just feel where you feel the different parts of the Om in your own body. It will vibrate your body. And it can, if you do this again and again, so sometimes when I'm having difficulty, I will just Om again and again and again because it gets me out of my head. It gets me into the present moment, into the body, because I can feel my own body vibrating. And there's something really special about your own frequency, your own sound can really bring you right into the now. And, all of our worries and all of our regrets, they're in the future and they're in the past. But in the now is where it's really all we have, truly. So anything that can bring us into the now is very, very useful. So we'll end with 3 ohms. And if you're not able to make sound or that feels too edgy for you, just imagine the sound in your own mind. Imagine it in your body. So in a moment, we'll breathe in together, and then on the out breath, we'll do Om, and then we'll do that 3 times. So breathing in, Om. 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 May the fruits of our practice today spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere. Thank you so much for showing up, being a part of our community, taking the time to go inward and be with yourself. The energy that we've co-created today, it will just spread outwards in all directions. The part of me that is my own essence, that is the light in me, sees the light in you. I bow deeply to you. Thank you.